Hi everyone, welcome to our three-part series about typography. In this video, I'll cover all the basics. We'll talk about why typography matters in the first place, and I'll walk you through the terminology that might come in handy. To convince you of the importance of typography, let's take a look at some aspects that typography can influence. Together with the logo, the colors you use, the layout of your website, typography is another thing that is a part of your branding. All of those elements are what visitors associate with your specific brands, like some well-known brands and the fonts of their logos, for example. Take a look at these. If it's different, it just doesn't feel right. Fonts and typefaces are excellent for setting the mood. When you see them, they tend to bring a certain feeling. For example, let's say this is a page for a motorcycle club, and we use this kid's font here. It just looks weird. If we change it for a black letter font, for example, it feels much more appropriate. I don't know how many you websites we visit every day, but it's quite a bit for me. And according to research and me, we don't usually read a website word for word, we scan. There are some common patterns in which we look at a page. So of course it will be title, headings first, so in general, it's the bigger, bolder text that catches our eye. So choosing the right font will direct the visitor to see what you want them to see first. It will create a beautiful hierarchy in your page. And now we can move on to the terminology. Let's start off with the obvious. Typography itself. By definition, typography is the art and technique of arranging type to make written language readable and visually appealing. It refers to everything, absolutely everything that has to do with text. Typeface and font are commonly used interchangeably, but it's not the deal. A typeface is a group of characters that share the same design, while a font is just a specific style of it. For example, Arial is a typeface, but Arial Bold is a font. Font weight is the stroke thickness of a character. You'll usually see weights like thin, regular, or bold. Kerning is the horizontal spaces between characters. Usually it is set by the best looking version by default, but it's not always the deal. Here's the word Walter, for example, with its default kerning. At first sight, you probably won't even be able to notice that the spaces between characters differ. But take a look what happens if the spaces are exactly the same, or none. You can see that it's not that good looking at all. Tracking is also referred to as letter spacing. It adjusts the spaces for the whole block of text. You can increase it and the whole text will expand. And negative tracking is also an option, so we will obviously just push it together. This is commonly used if you have a text and you have to fit it in a specific space that cannot be changed. Leading's a quick one. It's the space between the baselines of text. That's it. The most common way to represent font sizes is with points. It's the vertical distance between the top and the bottom all letters in a font, not a single one. To put it in perspective, 72 points equals to 1 inch. Serif is a styling element. Those are those little ornamental embellishments that you see on the characters. Sans, on the other hand, means without in French. So sans serif means without serif, so that would be a font without those embellishments. Script typefaces are meant to resemble handwriting, and there are so many out there on the market at the moment, you'll be able to find any style you wish. And those were all the basics. Stay tuned for part 2 of our series where I'll talk about how to choose the right font. And don't worry, everything I talked about here will help. So thank you for watching, see you on the next one.